already joined. So good morning, guys. Let me start the session. So this session might go on for 2 hours. Okay, my original plan, subject to your cooperation. It's going to be full and full problem solving. Okay, it's going to be problem solving. So let us solve all the problems, and each and every problem has been handpicked to help you for your mid-sem examination. Okay, so I will solve the problem in the same Word file. I've made like 8 problems. Okay, we will solve 8 problems and maybe another 4 or 5 from okay, you access the recording, Shashank. Okay, yeah, so it I know it's not, yeah, okay, access the recording. Plus let's see, in the evening also, if you want, I'll keep myself available, so those who want to discuss, we can. I'll see. Yeah, can we solve, can we have the class and then can we discuss all these things? Okay, let me have the class. Yes, madam, I will share this. I'll share these problems. We will solve together and we will upload it in the LMS also. All right. So, many of the problems we already solved it. Okay. But I think I am not confident that we've done a good job in the class. So I want to redo it. For example, the missing frequencies when a median is given. Okay. So I have taken one more problem. Okay. Let us solve this together. Okay. You can solve it along with me, but I'm not waiting for you to give me the answer. I'm just going ahead directly. All right. So let me solve it for you. See, firstly, this is a case of missing frequency. As you know, the class is given. Okay, it's a grouped data and there is a frequency given. But in the frequency, there are 2 parts which are left blank, or this is what you need to find out. Okay, so and one clue that you have is number 1, you have n. You also have the median value, which is 41. Okay, these 2 are given. Recording is happening. All okay. Okay, so solution. Now, firstly, make a small table. Okay, make a table like this. It's going to be a little difficult for me to type in the word file here, but I'm still doing it, so I might be a little slow. So then we put the F or frequency, then we put the CF. Okay, so 3 columns you create, and then you mention all the classes and their frequencies. And if you don't know something, if you don't understand anything that I'm doing here, you don't understand, you please let me know. See, I'm calling the first unknown variable, unknown frequency, as X. Okay. Yeah, this I will come back to this. Then 30 to 40 will be 15. Again, I'll come back to this. 40 to 50 will be 20. And 50 to 60 class will be, again, I'm calling this Y, unknown variable Y. Then the last class, which is 60 to 70, will be 11. Okay, now what I'll do is, as a first step, okay, see what will be the cumulative frequency of this, this 10 plus whatever number here. No, so I'll write it like that only. I'll say 10 plus X. Okay, is that clear? So here what I can do is 10 plus X. Sorry, 10 plus X plus 15 can be rewritten as 25 plus X. Yeah, hope you're following. 25 plus X. Okay, then here it will be 25 plus X plus 20. So it will be 45 plus X. Okay, then here you can't add 45 X and Y, so you just write as it is. Okay, 45 plus X plus Y. And here what I can do is 45 plus 11 I can add, which will be 56 plus X plus Y. So the total frequency is 56 plus X plus Y. Okay, in fact, that can also be done like this: 10 plus 15 plus 20 plus 11, which is 56 plus X plus Y. Okay, so your N is basically 56 plus X plus Y. Correct? Okay, so given N equals 82, correct? That is, total number of observation is 82. Therefore, can we write, okay, can we write 82 equals 56 plus X plus Y? Can we write like this? So then I'll simplify this a little bit. So X plus Y will be 82 minus 56. Okay, so which becomes how much? X plus y equals 82 minus 56 becomes 26. Okay, that means x plus y will be 26. Let's call it equation number 1 and keep it as it is. Okay, then what else is given? Other clue given is median of the distribution is given as 41. Okay, firstly let us identify the median position is n by 2th position, correct? No, n by 2th position, okay, which in this case will be n is 82 divided by 2, which is 41th position. Therefore, median class is this one. Agree? This is median class. Why? Because 41 comes in here, no? So therefore, my median class is 40 to 50. Okay. So given is median equals 41. See this one. The median of the distribution is 41. Remember, this 41 is different from the 41th position. Coincidentally, they both are same in this problem. Guys, are you all following? Am I going too fast? We've done this problem already, so I'm like going a little faster. Any part you've not understood, tell me. Can I have some feedback? Are you all there? Confused? Hello? Subhashini is clear. Okay, what about others? Following, right? Let me know, okay? Let me know which part you want me to explain. I'll explain again. Okay, median value is given as 41. Okay, now we know one more thing. We know the median formula, correct? Median formula is, remember that formula that we have taken down? Okay, maybe here I might, struggle a little bit to write the formula. Okay, I'll still try to do it quick. Insert, where is it, man? 1 minute. Insert equation. Okay, so median equals LM plus open bracket, and in here you write n by 2 minus CF of the previous frequency divided by F multiplied by W, correct? Hope you remember this. Now just you have all the information, just replace them so that you will get, it's time till we write. Okay, so I know the median, which is 41, correct? LM, which is the lower limit of the median class. Lower limit of the median class is 40, correct? So I'll rewrite it as 40. N by 2, we already calculated, that is 41. Sorry, yeah, 41. 82 by 1, which is 82 by 2 is 41. Cumulative frequency of the previous class is this, 10 plus x. Cumulative frequency of the previous class is 10 plus x. Sorry, 25 plus x. Yeah, so I'll write it like this, 25 plus x. Okay, and f of the median class is 20. Okay. Oh, sorry, I have to write here, no. 25 plus x, and this is 20. Width of each class is anyways given as 10. Okay. So now you solve for x. That's all you have to do. Okay. So if you don't know how to do that, I can do it. But again, if you solve for x here, okay, can someone tell me how much will x be in this case? You should get x as 14. Okay, so let me complete the problem and then I'll give you time to ask me. By the way, x14, how did I get it? Firstly, I do 41 by minus 40 will be 1, 1 by 10, then multiply 20. So 2 equals 41 minus 25 minus x. Okay, then you do 41 minus 25, bring it to the other side, which is 14. Okay, so that's how we go ahead. Okay, now remember we have this equation 1. Okay, we can use this to solve for y. Okay, so x is 14 plus y equals 26. So therefore y will be 26 minus 14. Therefore y equals 12. Yeah. You can cross check that by putting in the numbers. You put 14 here and you put 12 here. The total comes to 82. Are you all there? Did you understand this? Looks like a big problem, but it is not. Okay, just 1 or 2 problems. If you solve, you'll get it. We did 2 problems in the class, I think. And there is one more here. But in the exam, exactly this problem will not come, but similar problem will come. Just be prepared. So if you're all okay, I can go to the next problem. Are we done? Okay, Mahir. Okay, fine. Let me go to second problem. See, there is no order in this problem. Okay, I just jotted on all the problems. Okay, so whichever I thought I should cover it in the class view. So my next problem is on this. Okay, a little different, but once we solve it, you will know how easy it is. Okay, solution. So first read the problem, all of you. You don't have to take down the problem, guys. I'm sharing this Word file along with the solutions. All right, today itself, just after this class, I'm going to share this so that you can prepare. Yeah. So now see, there are 2 sections of the students and some information is given that number of students in section A is 60. Number of students in section B is 45. The average marks, that means the 60 students marks are already taken and the average is already calculated, which comes to 75. Average marks of section B comes to 73. Variance is given. Which section shows the greater variability, that is inconsistency on relative basis, is the question. Okay, now the only thing that you need to know is whenever you need to measure variability, you have to use the standard deviation. Point number 1. Okay, point number 2, when you want to compare it on a relative basis, when you want to compare both of them, then you can't use standard deviation. See, the size of the sample itself is different. No, I can't compare section A with section B. That is why I standardize it. I calculate a coefficient of variance. So basically we need to calculate the coefficient of variation to compare the variability. Okay, so always remember this. So now how do we calculate coefficient of variation? CV equals, okay, don't write down the answer, just observe. CV equals standard deviation divided by x bar, correct now? Standard deviation divided by x bar, correct? Now is standard deviation given? No, but variance is given. So you know that standard deviation equals square root of variance. Am I right? Don't write down, just understand the problem. Okay, so that way I can identify standard deviation. Simple, take the square root of both of them. Okay, now average marks is directly given, no, 75 and 73, which is nothing but x bar. So just do whatever standard deviation you find out, divided by 75, you get the curve, into 100 you get CV. Okay, so whichever company has higher CV has greater variability. Okay, so that's what we need to do now. So let's calculate standard deviation. Standard deviation equals, okay, square root of variance. Okay, square root of variance. Okay, so standard deviation of A equals, sorry, standard deviation of A equals 1024. Okay, so square root of 1024, how much does it come to? Square root of 1024. Square root of 1024 is 32, correct? So 32. Similarly, I can calculate the standard deviation of B. Okay, section B, 576. So square root of 576, that comes to 24. Very good. Thank you. I was about to ask you. Okay, so now we have the standard deviation. Now we also need the X bar, correct? X bar, how you write, you can use this equation. One minute now. So X bar of A equals, it's already given, which is 75. Similarly, X bar of B is given as 73. Okay, so that's it, using which we can calculate the CV. So how will I calculate CV? CV equals, CV of A I will do first. CV of A will be standard deviation of A divided by X bar of A. If you've already done the calculation, tell me. You can also multiply this with 100, or you can leave it as it is. Okay, so 32 divided by 75, which comes to how much? 32 by 75 is 0.427, 0.43. I'll make it. Go up to 2 decimals, please. Yeah, then CV of B, okay, will be standard deviation of B, average of B, which is 24 by 73, which is 0.32. I'm just taking your number. All right. So as the CV of A is the highest, we can say the A section has greater variability. inconsistency. Are we clear with this? Oh. Are we done, guys? Is there any question on this? Are you able to follow this? Again, we have done these problems in the exam, sorry, in the class, so I'm rushing, I'm not giving any explanation unless you have a specific question on anything. What are others doing except Mahir? You're all working with me or not? Done? Okay. Can I have, just a quick, messages by all of you? I want to know how many of you are actively listening. Okay, Aishi, Aditya, Amlan, okay. See? Abin, okay. Sunetra, all right. Pavitran, okay. Geetika is there, of course. Puneet, okay. Sorry, I missed your names. Benazir. Akhil. So like what? I mean, like 12 to 13 out of 31, 12 to 13 only are resting. Okay, anyways, God save you all others. Okay, so I'll move on. Okay, so far it's clear, no? So far, whatever we have done, I think it's clear. So now I'll move on to the next problem. I'll try to do everything in separate page. Insert a page break. Yeah. So this again is similar to one of the problems that we've already done in the class. Okay. So a batsman scored, yeah. God. So you need to calculate mean, standard deviation, and coefficient of variation in this. All right. So that's quite easy. It's an ungrouped data. Okay. So how do you calculate the mean? X bar equals. Yeah, guys, if this is my personal ID, so I don't have subscription. Okay. In case the meeting ends, join back the same link immediately. Within 1 minute, we will join back and start the session. Okay. Mentally be prepared. We are going ahead till 1 o'clock. 1 or maybe a little later also. Okay. So what do I do? Sigma x now. Okay. Sigma x by n. All right. So equals. So because it's, just 10 observations, we can directly do it. Okay. 56 plus 76. Or let's do this because we need to calculate standard deviation also, right? Okay, this is my mean formula, correct? Let me also write down the standard deviation formula that we need. Okay, so that we know what we need to create the table for. Okay, so let's say, for example, standard deviation equals, firstly, square root of, okay, denominator n, okay, and here what do we write? Sigma x minus x bar whole square. Yeah. sigma x minus x bar whole square. So I need a table which gives me x and x minus x bar. All right. So let's do that. So it's always better to write down the formula so that you will know what kind of table has to be created. Okay. So my table will be like this. First, I will start with x. Okay. And then I'll do x square. No, x square is not required. X minus x bar whole square. Okay. I can copy from here. Hmm. 56, 76, 74, 91, 35, 11, 30, 35, 24 and 2. No, yeah, 2 correct. 24 and he got out at 2 marks, 2 runs only. So now now I'll calculate sigma x. Yeah. Sigma x equals. Now you just have to add all of them. Okay. So how much does it come to? Anyone? 430. 434. Yeah. Sorry. So now that I know sigma x is 434, now I can calculate the x bar. And I also know n is 10. Okay, n is the total number of observations. N is 10, so it comes to 43.4. So your x bar is 43.4. So what you need to do here is 56 minus 43.4 square. Okay, like this we need to calculate for each of them. Yeah. So 1 second, I think I'll make it simpler for me. So 56 minus 43.4 to the power of 2. I'm using Excel as a calculator. Okay. So 158.6. Correct me if this is all right. You're also getting the same number. 158.76. Am I right? 1062.76. 936.36. Sure. Yeah, 936.36, 2265.76, 70.56, 120, 1049.76, 179.56, 70.56, 376.36, 1713.6. Are we okay? So then I can calculate sigma x minus x bar whole square will be sum of all this, which is 7884.40. So now I would know that, so I can do that calculation. $788.44 square root of 788.44 is 28.08. Yeah, 28.08. That is the standard deviation. All right. Then I also need to calculate coefficient of variation. For that, I have the formula here. I'll just copy paste that. So 43.4 divided by 28.08. Sorry, 28.08 divided by 43.4, which is 43.4, 6.65, 0.65. I'm telling you, go up to 2 decimals. 0.65 is the coefficient of variation. We're okay? Record. Meanwhile, the other section is getting recorded, so I'll share that. Okay, the next thing is skewness. Okay. Yeah, skewness calculations. Okay. Now, firstly, let me give you a summary of this. Not this problem, but generally, about skewness and kurtosis, right? While I'm not doing that, but you know that there will be a question on kurtosis and skewness. You will have to write a theoretical question on that. Okay, you need to explain what you have understood by skewness and kurtosis, including the graph also you need to put. Okay, that I'm not covering because I've already done it in the class. All right. So let's just make a note somewhere. You need to also be able to answer the question on what is skewness, what is kurtosis, explain with the graphs, if required an example also. Okay, so I leave it to you. All right, but again, there will be a theoretical question that you can expect, which I'm not covering in this special class. All right. Okay, so how do you calculate skewness? Skewness basically can be calculated by doing this mean minus mode. Okay, skewness can also be calculated by doing 3 mean minus median. So please remember this. Okay, this is skewness only. Okay, like how we calculate standard deviation. Then how do you calculate coefficient of skewness? As you know, coefficient always, what does it do? It always calculates at a relative basis. It's a relative measure, correct? So what you can do is skewness divided by standard deviation. Got it? Yeah. So that way, if in the problem, for example, in this case, there is mode given and you are supposed to calculate the coefficient of skewness. So how will you calculate? First, take mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. You got it? in case instead of mode, if median is given, you know that you have to write 3 mean minus median divided by standard deviation. Are we clear? For this problem, my formula is this. For this problem, my formula is this. Coefficient of skewness equals mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. Are we clear with this? You want me to explain again? Okay. Clear. So far clear. Okay. Anyways, let me start the problem. Now, one challenge in this case is what is your mean? Can we calculate mean for this problem? For calculating mean, okay, again, we know the formula. Okay, I'll just copy from the previous case. It needs x bar equals sigma x by n. Okay, now sigma x is already given. Can you see this? Are you all with me? 1452. It's already given. Just take down that number, 1452. And n is given as 20. Group of 20 items, they say, no? So 20. Very good, Mahir. Okay, so which comes to 72.60. Okay, 72.60. Okay, 72.60. Okay, clear? Now we need standard deviation. Okay, now I just want to, take the formula from here. There is a catch here. Okay, see, for standard deviation calculation, okay, by the way, why do I need standard deviation? I need standard deviation because of STDEV. Okay, anyways, mode I will write down. After this, I can write down the mode. Mode is already given directly. Okay, mode or median, mode is already given. Given mode equals 63.70. It's already given. Okay, now we need to calculate the standard deviation. Standard deviation. So for that is where the challenge is. It's a simple challenge basically. See, your formula says x minus x bar whole square is required. Okay, but you are given only sigma x square. This is sigma x square. Okay, are you with me? So now that is why I will write the formula. I'll rewrite the standard deviation formula. This can be rewritten like this. 1 minute. Equals see, just observe this part, okay? This I will write it as sigma x by n, okay, into x bar whole square. We can write like that, okay? So let me do that for you. Sigma x shit, 1 second. Wait till I write it fully and then we'll explain. One minute. Just a second. Just a second. Just come back. Wait. Minus, yeah. That's what I was wondering. Just wanted to ensure the formula had minus. Okay. Okay. So see this formula sigma x square, because x minus x bar is in whole square. I'm doing sigma x square minus x bar square. I could do. All right. So now that we have all the information available, we can solve it. Okay. 1 minute. X bar whole square. Yeah. So equals, I can copy this again, paste again. So how much is sigma x square? Sigma x square is given as 14428. Okay. N we know is 20. X bar we just calculated as 72.60. Okay. So you can solve this. Equals so 14428 by 20 is 721.4. 72.6 square is 5270.6. Oh, sorry. Sigma x square. No, this is 14428 square. Yeah. So 14428 square divided by 20. So this minus this. Give me a second. 1 second, please. One four four two eight square. Yeah. Oh no, it was okay. Guys, 1 second. I'll just clarify the 14428 square is already given, so it's 20 and 72.6. Okay. So no, there is an error here. Error in the problem. Okay, it is 144280. Okay, yeah, 44.08. Correct. Sorry. The question while typing, I have missed down the 0. Okay. So let's go to the problem here. Okay, this will be 144280. I hope in the okay. So that way, none of the other numbers will change. Okay, so this becomes 144,280. Okay, sigma x square by 20, 72.6 square. Okay, so 722. Okay, 5210. Perfect. 1943. 44.08. 1943.24 equals 44.08. Yes, sir. Okay, this is my standard deviation. Okay, sorry, the error was because I had written it as 144,280. Okay, so this is something new which I had not discussed in the class. Okay, So I thought I should cover this also. So be very careful in this part, okay? Because it might seem like standard deviation formula we know, but the formula can be split into these two parts, okay? So, and also do not do this divided by n divided by n. You can't divide by both of them. You separate them and calculate it, all right? This is one. Now that we have calculated this, we can calculate the coefficient of skewness easily, all right? So let me do that. Okay, mean we calculated as 72.6, mode is given as 63.70. Okay, standard deviation we just calculated as 44.08, so which comes to 72.6 minus 63.7, okay, divided by 44.08, yeah, 0.20, yeah, 0.20. This will be coefficient of skewness. Okay. So think over it one more time. If you have any question, ask me. Just for your reference, I'll write it here. Skewness formula will be mean minus mode. Okay. Skewness formula will be 3 times mean minus median. It can be any of that. All right. Then coefficient of skewness. Coefficient of skewness will be skewness, whichever way you calculate, skewness divided by STDU. Okay. So if you're all okay with this, I'll go to the next one. All okay? Okay. All right. So the next topic is what is little tricky for us right now. Okay, which is I haven't started that in our class. Okay, but which will be part of your exam. All right. So I want you to learn it purely from it. Generally, I don't do that, but right now I'm openly telling you, learn it only for this examination. We will do it proper learning in the classroom once your exams are over. We will properly learn it. Okay. But anyways, it's not new for you. I'm sure all of you would have learned it at some point of time in your statistics course, which is calculation of correlation coefficient. All right. It's actually similar one. There's a formula. You just have to apply a formula and calculate it. All right. It's called Pearson's correlation coefficient. Let me give you a very 1 minute explanation for what is this correlation coefficient. So far we always had one variable. Okay, that means I had the marks data, I had sales data, I had some age data, correct? Now I have two variables here. I have advertising expenses and I have sales. By heart, I know that advertising and sales, they both are related to each other, correct? I spend more money on advertising, I do more advertising, sales will be more. So we kind of know that. But in statistics, we calculate one coefficient, which kind of explains to us what is the relationship in a quantitative method. Okay, so that's basically what I will be discussing right now. Let's say solution. I'm not solving, but let me explain first. Let me explain first. So when we calculate, let's say correlation coefficient, okay, if R, basically correlation coefficient is referred to as R. Okay, if R equals, R is less than 0. Okay, R can be anywhere between, sorry, first let me write it. R will be -1 to 0 to +1. Okay, the answer will always be, whatever calculation you do for correlation, the correlation coefficient will always be between -1 to +1. Okay, -1, if R is -1, the variables are perfectly negatively correlated. Okay, if R is 0, the variables do not have any correlation. Okay, if R is 1, the variables are perfectly positively correlated. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me now? There was a network issue. Okay, fine. All right. Now the correlation coefficient can be between -1 to 0. What if it is, if R is between -1 to 0, the variables are negatively correlated. I'm not saying positive, perfectly negatively, but they are negatively correlated. Okay. And if R is between, okay, 0 to 1, sorry, this is -1 to 0, okay, 0 to 1, the variables are, okay, positively correlated. So basically it tells us what is the relationship between two variables. A classic case, if you take, for example, price and demand for a product, price and sales, if you take, we know that price and sales are negatively correlated. If the price increases, sales will come down, correct? No? So we know that concept, right? Same logic. Okay, so that's what is correlation. So how do you calculate correlation? So Pearson has given, okay, Carl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. He has given a formula using which we will calculate. Okay, so the formula I will write it for you. This will be important for our problem solving now. So R equals, write down this formula. Sigma xy. So x is one variable, y is another variable. In correlation, it does not matter what is x, what is y. Okay, there has to be two variables. That's all is important. Okay, then you take sigma x, then you take sigma y. One second. Let me write it and then you write it. Sigma x and sigma y. Then square root of n sigma x square minus sorry guys, it's taking time. 1 minute. Okay, so just change it to y. n sigma y square into sigma y whole square. Yeah, perfect. That's all. So write down clearly. Even if you Google also, you'll get some images for the same. So, but again, there are multiple ways to do it, but I would prefer we all do it like this, using this. All right. Okay. So now let me solve this is basically the theoretical things that we had to note down. So now if you want to solve the question, so just write down the formula first and then identify what columns have to be created. Okay. So I'll do it in Excel. So easy to, do all the calculations. And later we'll copy it to the Word file. Okay. So firstly, I need X and Y. Columns X and Y I will create. How many are there? 6 are there. Okay. 4 to 6. Okay. First I will take down X and Y. Then keep looking at the formula. You need XY, correct? So create another column called XY. Then sigma X is already there. Just take the total of this. Sigma Y also is there. X square is required. Okay, so I'll take X square is another column that I will create. Then I'll also create Y square. So 5 columns have to be created. Okay, first take down your X items 40, 50, 60, 45, 55 and 65. All right, and then take the Y 100, 120, 120, 110, 115 and 120. All right, so then we will take XY. All right, so 1 second. Yeah, 40 into 100 goes on like this. All right, X square will be 40 to the power of 2. Y square will be 100 to the power of 2. Okay, we do this. And then we take the sum of almost all of them is required. Okay, so I'll take the sum of all of them. So we know this is sigma y, sigma x, sigma y, sigma xy, sigma x square, sigma y square. Okay, I know this is easy for me to do it in Excel. Okay, but for you it might take some time if you're doing it manually. So you have to be very quick. Okay, so let's do it now. I'll now take the formula and plug in all the numbers, what I just calculated. Okay. Yeah. So sigma xy I have, which is 36275. Okay. Sigma x is 315 into sigma y is 685. Okay. These two can be in a bracket or I'll leave it. Okay. Then n sigma x square. Okay. Now n sigma x square is n is 6. Okay. 6 into sigma x square is 16,975. Okay, then comes sigma x whole square. So sigma x is 315 square. Okay, so this is 1. Then again here n into sigma y square. Okay, so 6 into 78,525 and sigma y is 685 square. Okay, so then I'll take this and paste it again. So let's simplify as much as possible. So we need 315 into 685. Okay, so 315 into 685. Array, one more time. Okay, 215,775, 215,775. Okay, 6 into 16,975, which is 101,850. 315 square, 99,225. Okay, then 78,525 into 6, which is 47,1150 minus 685 into to the power of 2, which is 469,225. 469,225. Okay, we might have to simplify furthermore. Okay, so 36,275 minus 215,775, which is minus 17. Minus 179,500. Okay, this one will be 101,850 minus 99,225 is 2625. Then again 471,550 minus 469,225 is 1925. Okay, so let me multiply both of them together into 1925 and then take the square root of this. Okay, 2247, 224. Something's wrong. Some calculation I haven't done correctly. Okay, let's not waste our time. If you do this calculation, what you get is 1 minute. This and this. So your answer should be 0.83. Okay, so when you solve this, the answer you will get would be 0.83. Okay, we will get it. Okay, I've done it right now. You know, simplifying it more and more, it's complicating it. Okay, so I'm not getting into that because I still have other two topics. We'll come back to this if required, but the answer will be 0.83. I've already done that. It's there. Okay, so any questions on this? This problem will come. Okay, not this problem. Similar problem will be there for your exam, midsem examination. Yeah, I know we have only done one problem. Okay, but it will be almost same. Okay, it will be almost same. All right, that's an excuse. But anyways, you still will have an option to answer also. By the way, I have uploaded a skeleton. You know, skeleton is basically an outline of the question paper pattern in your LMS. I don't know if you have accessed that already. Okay, so that should also help you a little bit. Okay, guys, can we do it? When you do the calculations, I'm sure you will reach 0.83. Maybe, you know, when I'm sending this Word file, I will, you know, correct all the calculation mistakes here and put it. But your answer should be 0.83. Okay, can I go forward now? If you're all done with this. Hello. Ebenezer, okay. What about others? Confusing? Okay, okay. All right, so let me move forward. Okay, maybe what I will do is I'll add one more problem. Okay, in addition to this, I will add one more problem, solve it and send it in the Word file. Okay, so that you can also practice. All right, moving forward. Okay, the next question that we need to learn, next part that we need to learn is an extension of correlation. It is called rank correlation. Okay, now rank correlation happens when you are giving rank. For example, let's say I'm judging a event and I'm giving rank for, let's say, 10 participants. Okay, now there is a second judge who is also giving ranks. Okay, when we both give ranks, how our ranks are correlated with each other, how consistent are we both? You know, it might so happen that whom I'm giving the first rank, I'm giving an extreme case. Okay, let's say there are 10 people. I'm giving first rank to, let's say, Akhil. Okay, the second judge is giving 10th rank to Akhil. That means he's exactly viewing my judgment in an opposite way. Okay, that is what rank correlation will calculate. Okay, we'll discuss more details about rank correlation later when in the class. Right now, let's just understand how it is calculated. But anyways, having said that, all these things will still be the same. Okay, the interpretation of the correlation coefficient will be the same, except that here you are comparing the ranks. All right. So let me do it for you now. Let me solve it for you first. I'm sorry, I need to add one more formula to your kitty now. Okay. So yeah, these are all ranks. Okay. And it is given by Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. All right. So we use the letter RS to refer to that. Yeah, 1 second. It is not this big formula. It's a simple one. Okay, we will say RS. The meeting will cut now and immediately join. Okay. Just 2-3 more problems and we are done. So don't worry. And then I will keep myself for some question and answer. So I will say RS. Okay. RS stands for Spearman's rank correlation. All right. So 1 minute. It will be 1 minus 6 sigma d square. So I'll tell you what is d. I think that is the key here. And then n into okay. N into n square minus 1. That's it. Okay. This is your Spearman's rank correlation formula. Again, for this, we need a small table. Okay. The table I'll do the table here. Okay. So here we will say X, or I'll write the variable name maths, or X. Actually, we can say X. Okay. X rank, Y rank. Okay. So first write down your X and Y values: 35, 23, 47, 17, 10, 43, 9, 6, 28. Okay. And Y 30, 33, 45, 23, 8, 49, 12, 4 and 31. Okay. Now here, okay, I just want to ensure all of you are there. How many? 26 students are there. Can I have some quick feedback? All of you are there. Hello. Just raise your hand, say yes, something. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. Shilpashri, Abhin. All right. Geetika, fine. Aishi. Who else? That's it. Sunetra is there. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm solving Spearman's rank correlation. Okay. Do not get confused. What we did previously was just a correlation session. My problem is here. Okay. So we were discussing about what is called as rank correlation. Okay. So give me your attention here. So, so once you have the data like this is the score given. Okay. Based on the score, we say whether it is, higher the score, better the rank. Correct? No. So now how do we give the rank? Say, for example, I'm looking at this. Okay. There are 10 observations, 9 observations. So I have to give rank. Yeah, can you hear me now? Can I go ahead? Okay, thank you. So I'm sharing my Excel screen. I hope you're seeing this. So first write down your X and Y. Okay, then calculate the X rank and Y rank. Okay, so how do I give rank? Again, it's a simple thing. Ideally, you should arrange it in the ascending order and give the rank. Okay, so I will give the rank like this now, but don't do that in the exam. So just you have to manually see it and put a rank. 47 is the highest, first rank. 43 is the second rank. 35 is the third rank. Then 28 is the fourth rank. Okay, 23 is the fifth rank. Then 17 is the sixth rank. 10 is the seventh rank. 9 is eighth rank. 6 is ninth rank. So 1 to 9 ranks have been given based on this. And here higher number gets the first rank. Okay, remember first rank is higher than ninth rank. So same way we have to do it here also. Okay, so let me give that. 49 gets the first rank, 45 second rank. Okay, and then 33 gets the third rank, 31 gets the fourth rank. After that, 23 is the fifth rank. Oh no, sorry, 30 is the fifth rank, 23 is the sixth rank, then 12 is the seventh rank, 8 is the eighth rank, 4 is ninth rank. Got it? Abnas, are you able to do this now? You followed? How I gave the rank, X and Y rank. Now what you do is you calculate D. D is simply the difference between the ranks. Okay, so whatever is the X rank minus Y rank. Okay, if minus number comes, put minus number, no problem. Got it? All right, and then take D square. Okay, so that all the negative numbers go away. So minus 2 into minus 2. Okay, like this, I can calculate for all of them. All right, and then take a sum. Which is 12. Got it? So now you can go back to our formula here. Okay, so let me copy this again. Okay, so it says 6 sigma d square. Now this is sigma d square, correct? So I'll say 6 into 12. All right, and then what is n in this case? How many are there? N number of ranks, 9. Okay, so n is 9. Guys, 1 second, please wait. I think it's your problem only. 1 minute. Okay, 1:15 we'll talk. Yeah, no problem, no problem. Okay. 9 and then 9 square minus 1. Okay, so this if you solve, how much do you get? 36. Okay, 80 into 9. Correct? No, 81 minus 1 is 80. 80 into 9. So 20. 36 by 720. 36 by 720, which is around 0.05. Yeah, 720. So equals 1 minus 0.05, which equals 0.95. So the Spearman's rank correlation in this case is 0.95. I think I need to paste this table. Okay. Sorry, extremely sorry for this inconvenience. wish we had Impartus. I'm missing it so much now. Okay. So we're done with rank correlation. So just take a look at this. Okay, if you have any questions, you ask me. As I said, there will be one question on this. Okay, but exactly same. As in the problem will be just the numbers will change. Okay, so you might have to, 36. What do you mean by where 36? 12 6 are 72. Oh, sorry, that was my mistake. No, yeah, 72. Sorry, that was correct. That's correct. So 72 by 720 will be 0.1, I think, 0.1. So it will be 0.90. Yeah, thank you. That was my calculation mistake, mental calculation mistake. Is it correct now? Okay, Ebenezer is calling me. 1 minute. Yeah, Ebenezer. I know, but it's again started. We are discussing almost. In fact, I corrected some mistake. Class is going on. People are talking. I think you are not able to. Yeah. Okay. We done now? Okay. Spearman's rank correlation. Can I go ahead? One more last problem I want to solve. All right. Which is on, if you recall, what we did in the case of regression. Okay. Least square, if you recall. This we have, kind of done already. Okay. So we will have to just, practice it one more time. But last time when I did more on the time series analysis. So the difference between time series and regression. Time series, X will be time. In regression, X will be some other variable. All right. So that's what we've done. So just take a look at it now. I'll solve it for you. Okay. This will be your case study. I'm not saying this, but similar to this will be your case study. Take a look at the problem. Yes. Same question. This is a case study. Not same, but yeah, similar one. In numerical problems, that's how it will be. Bigger problems are given as case study. Yeah. Even in your main exam, your university exam also, that's how it will be given. Can we solve it now? Okay. So firstly, your regression equation is this. I hope you remember this. First, let me write down all the formulas. Bx bar, right? Y equals a plus bx. This is your regression equation. This is your regression equation. Remember this. This is your prediction equation. This is your regression equation. In this, you need to calculate a and b. Okay. So first you write down the formula for beta, which you already have written down in time series. So same thing I'm going to write one more time now. Okay. So beta equals, we call it as beta. Beta equals sigma xy, okay, minus n x bar y bar, okay, divided by sigma x square minus n x bar square, Okay, x bar square. If you recall, this is the same formula we have used in least square method of time series analysis. Then you use alpha from, you can use, okay, 1 minute. Alpha equals y bar minus b into beta into x bar. This should be sufficient for us. All right. So using which we can calculate the numbers. Okay. First, let's go ahead to a table. We'll create a table. I will use Excel to make it easier for us to do the calculations. Yeah. So I'll do it here. First, write down your x and y. Okay. So 1 minute, x and y, let me write down 40, 50, 60. So note that your x is advertising expenses in this case. In time series analysis, it will be time. Okay. So x is 40, 50, 60, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, and 70. Okay. And y will be 100, 120, 120, 110, 115, 120, 130, 135, and 125. Okay. So now look at the equations. You need xy. So let me put another column called xy. Okay. Then I need x bar, y bar, which I think I can calculate based on this only. X square is required. So I'll put one column for x square. And x bar square also is not required. So I think only these are sufficient. Correct. So xy will be 40 into 100. Okay. X square will be x to the power of 2. Okay. So you do this calculation. All right. So then you can take the total of all of them. We need all of them. Okay. So bold this, bold this. Clear? So anyways, for me, it took just seconds because I'm using Excel, but for you, it will take some time to do the calculation. So do spend time in practicing. Using this, now I will calculate, okay, the beta. I'll continue in the same line. Okay, sigma xy is given as 66,250. 66,250. Then n x bar y bar. Okay, so n is just take the count of this, which is around 9. Okay, 9 into x bar. X bar is again we need to calculate x bar. X bar will be 545 divided by 9, which is 60.55. 60.56. Maybe we can separately do that calculation also. Let's take it somewhere. 1 minute. Sigma x is 545. 545 divided by x bar. How to calculate? Sigma x by n, no? Sunetra, what happened? I'm by the way, I'm doing that on the screen right now. I hope it's clear. Confirm if you have understood or you want me to explain. X bar is your normal x bar, what we've already been calculating, no? And then calculate y bar. So y bar will be 1075 divided by 9. So that will be 1075 by 9, which is 119.44. Sunetra, are you able to follow this? Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. So 119.44. Okay, so that's basically it is. And then sigma x square. Okay, so sigma x square, we've already done it. It's 34,725. So just plug in the number 34,725, and then minus n is 9 into x bar square. Okay, so that I will write it like this. 60.56 to the power of 2. Okay, so if I do this calculation, it will be 9 into 60.56 multiplied by 119.44, 65,099. 6,500, I can almost, I'll round it off. So then we are talking about 9 into 60.56 to the power of 2, 3307. 33,008 I will make. So 66,250 minus 65,099 is 1150.42. 34,725 minus 33,007 is 1717.38. Okay, so this will be 1150.42 divided by 171738. 0.67. Okay, 0.67 is our beta. Yes, Mahir, good, thank you. Yeah, some confirmation like this will tell me that my calculations are correct. Okay. And then we will, now that we have calculated the beta, let us go ahead and calculate A equals A alpha, which basically. So Y bar is, again, we have calculated Y bar. Y bar was 119.44. Okay. Minus beta, we just calculated beta is 0.67 multiplied by X bar, which is 60.56. Okay. So 0.67 into 60.56. So this will be 119.44 minus 40.5752. Or we'll just say 0.5758 maybe approximately. 119.44 minus something 78.87. Okay, this is my alpha. All right. So now we can answer these questions. Find the regression equation. Okay, let me write it question by question. We'll answer it. Regression equation. Okay, is y equals a plus bx. Okay, we'll end in 10 minutes. Y equals a plus bx. So therefore y equals 78.87 plus 0.67x. Okay, so this is our regression equation. This is your answer. Okay, then my second question is B. Okay, what is it? How would you describe the relationship between x and y? Okay, so how I'll say relationship between x and y. Okay, so x and y are positively related. Okay, now point number one, for every 1 unit change in x, y changes by 0.67 units. See what beta means. Okay, let me take 1 minute in explaining. See, beta is actually called the regression coefficient. Remember, we did correlation coefficient, that is between -1 to +1, and we interpreted it some way, right? Regression coefficient actually tells you an exact change that will happen. If advertisement expense, if you spend 1 rupee extra in this example, what it means is like this. If you spend 1 rupee extra on advertisement, your sales will go up by 67 paisa. That's what it means. Have you understood? You spend 100 rupees extra on advertisement, your sales will go up by 67 rupees. That's what beta means. Regression coefficient beta basically means that. All right. Now read the sentence. For every 1 unit change in X, that is advertisement expense, Y changes by 0.67 units. Is that a good information as a businessman? Definitely yes. I want to know how much a change in one variable will bring in the change in how much change will be brought in. That is basically relationship between X and Y. Okay. Then third question is, I think I'll make it 84. Okay. Third question is C. Predict the value of Y. Prediction of Y when X is rupees 84. That means the question is, if we spend 84 rupees on advertisement, how much will be the sales? Correct? You're planning that. So what we can do is we can take the equation, regression equation, like this. Okay. Then I will replace X with 84. Okay. Then calculate this. So Y will be 78.87 plus 84 into 0.67. 84 into 0.67, which is 56.28. 56.28. So therefore, Y will be 78.87 plus 56.28, 135.15. See, I'm able to predict now. I'm able to predict based on my regression analysis, based on the historical trend that I observed. I'm able to predict it. Yeah, are you able to get this whole logic? See, time series also we did the same thing. See, there instead of advertisement, we took time. We took years, correct? Then we predicted for next period. So this whole thing has to be presented neatly in your exam. Okay. So I'll write it here. I'll put the table here also. So I think I have, discussed in detail whatever I thought is relevant. I know that, it will be a little heavy for you, not discussed enough, not done enough problems, but I'm directly sending you to the war zone according to you. But that is also a test. Okay. Don't worry. I understand your limitations, and accordingly the evaluation will be done. So the same time, I do want you to practice it. Okay. Especially this sheet I'm sending you with some 8 to 10 questions. This you please practice. Only correlation and regression are the new ones. Okay. So you might have to, okay. I'm sure you would have borrowed some textbook also, or even in Google also. Most of these questions I took from Google only. Okay. So in fact, you copy this and paste in Google, you will get the answer. Okay. So that way also you can learn. Let us see. I am also available. Okay. Throughout the day today, I'll be available. So if anytime you want to discuss anything with me, just message me and call me. Okay. I'll be available. I can explain to you in detail again and again. Just give me 1 more hour. I will upload all the recording of this session, and also I will add 1 or 2 problems to this and send it to you. Okay. So any other questions? Anybody? We have another 2-3 minutes 4 minutes to end the meeting. So any questions, anybody? Show the prediction part. Yeah. 1 minute. Yeah. I repeat again, these are not the problems. Don't think that there will be different problems. Okay, this is just a template problem. It's a similar problem will come. There may be some more twists and turns other than this also. So be prepared. All right. So Yeah. Okay, guys. So I think we'll end the session. Okay. How 84? 84 is given no in the problem. Predict the value of y if the value is 84. Value of x is 84. That means if I spend 84 rupees on advertisement, how much will be the sales I want to predict? Okay. Good. Thank you then. See you. I'll close the session. Can we end it? Okay. Usual response. Bye. 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 Thank you.